Hey, it's Yams.
You made it.
I did it.
Oh no.
Nick attacked the guards.
A priest of Matswar.
What the fuck? He started doing crazy shit at the end.
I'm logging back in. It's letting me.
No way.
Yeah. I'm not even lying, actually. I'm on the loading screen.
There's no way he's gonna let us back in, but that would be funny.
No.
It'd be funny if we snuck back in.
Right? We just log in there like, wait, what the hell?
Like, wait a minute. Get out of here. Shit. Playtest over.
Nah, I'm probably just gonna get stuck on this load screen.
Oh yeah, 100%. Cool loading screen though. I got like one look like Goblin Forest, a little Goblin like Druid dude.
I think that one's a new one. I saw that too, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. All right, let me close. I was listening to the music, but I'm gonna
Yeah,
close it.
it's never gonna stop. The music's not gonna stop. It's not gonna load.
Not gonna load. Copium. Copium.
Reluctantly starts Quorum.
Honestly. Some people pay good money.
No,
for
nothing
that.
against it. It's a great game.
No, I like EverQuest. I like EverQuest a lot. But it's no Monsters and Memories, that's for fucking sure.
I'll admit, maybe part of it is that I wasn't around for the beginning of EverQuest, so it's just never going to be the same for me being a newbie surrounded by a sea of veterans that have played for 20 years in a 20-year-old game, and this is my opportunity to basically play the same game, but be one of those first people, right? That they would all probably take pride in being.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's why I like Monsters and Memories different, but I think it's EverQuest 2.0.
I think it's because it's EverQuest 2.0. There's just
Yeah.
system-wise, like the MUD interactions alone make this so much more of an engaging game for me. Like,
Someone on Nick's stream was like, why would somebody play Monsters and Memories over EverQuest? And I wanted to be like, you're trolling. Well, you take the time to answer. Why would you rather play EverQuest over this? But I didn't say that, of course.
yeah, I remember that conversation because Nick gave him a
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
good answer.
You were there.
Yeah,
yeah.
I was shit talking that whole stream. I was in chat, hardcore shit posting at Nick, but but yeah, no, like I get why they were asking. I mean, like they wanted to like really like what do you evaluate versus EQ, and I think systems is a really good answer. Like,
he had a good answer, yeah.
Like yeah, there's more to Eminem at surface level. Like don't get me wrong, there's not as much content right now. There obviously will be. There's not as much content as there is in EQ right now, but like there's way more systems involved. You know, there's a lot more going on in Monsters and Memories compared to EverQuest.
That's really all they have right now on it is content. And it's like, okay, give it time though. EverQuest, when its first expansion came out, was only limited to zones X, Y, and Z as well. You know, people forget.
And the devs also, yeah, they've already brought up that they're doing like a vertical like slice situation, right? So it's like if you imagine it like a lasagna, you know, like I know this is a stupid analogy, but imagine like a lasagna. They want to ensure that the piece of the lasagna that you're going to get from the tray is a complete piece of lasagna, right? It's going to be bottom layer, middle layers, top layer. You're going to have all the slice, all the pieces of lasagna. But then as they release that in early access, they're going to do the rest of the lasagna that's also going to have all of the layers, right? But they want to flesh the world out horizontally after we have the ability to go from 1 to 60 with meaningful content, which I think is genius. I think that's a great way to do it, you know?
No, I want lasagna.
Not lasagnas. But yeah, I mean that's kind of what it is. It's like we're gonna you can have your cake and eat it too. You just can't have the whole cake yet. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, that sounds like a good MMO, I guess.
yeah, I know it's kind of exciting because it's like these modules are gonna be like really cool. Like they're gonna release the deep, and everybody in the community is gonna lose their shit when it drops. You know, so it's kind of nice to be able to like experience all these like packages that they're going to drop in the form of these modules as it eventually gets closer and closer to 1.0. It's almost like expansions, but not really, you know?
But not really.
Not really, but not really. Well, the reason it's not really like expansions is because when you think about it, and I guess EverQuest expansions are kind of like different than this. But a lot of times you introduce an expansion, and it's not like you're adding level 1 to 60 content, right? Like it's usually you add an expansion and you're adding like level 60 content, you know?
Yeah.
And it seems like the modules are not as much like that. It's not about like in-game content that they're releasing. It's like just the rest of the world that's slowly unlocking for us. So I am curious how quickly they'll release zones, because if you looked at the world map, right? Like you've seen the world map that they released, yeah. Um, it's not like filled in. It's got like two little biomish zones to it.
Like the zone connection map, like an EQ
No.
with all the
like,
squares.
no. Like the lore map. Hold on, I'll find it. I think it's on the website. Let me go.
Yeah, I logged into Quorum. It's
I thought
it's interesting.
I'm on Quorum as well, but I was leveling my
Like
paladin.
it's really not bad, but
It's not bad. It just doesn't. It doesn't feel. I don't know. It's something's kind of missing. Here we go. Yeah, this kind of thing. Let me see if I can just send it to you through like Discord. Here you go. Like, there's so much of that that's not filled in. You know?
I did not see that. That's awesome.
Yeah, this is on the website.
Wow.
And so like you can see like the Felindral, and you can see the big floating castle down there at the bottom right.
I think it's like the
Night Harbor.
Gallifrey region is the green.
Also, by the way,
Desert of Scissor.
just saying, a big hint for me on the whole Telekir thing was that big pool of fucking water in the middle of the mountains. You see that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So that was
Also,
a big one.
The zone glass flats completely makes sense now looking at that map. It's literally the entire like east to west area of that whole square.
Yeah, it's like that whole
It's
little
basically like fallen past shaded dunes and Night Harbor in one zone from left to right. Literally. Like, yeah, that explains it perfect.
Mm-hmm. You know what I think is so interesting about glass flats? Is it indicates an explosion.
Interesting. Is that what you think the big old gray area is?
Yeah, I think some kind of magic blew up there. And that's why it's all glassed, and like because if you look at it in the map too, it looks like a crater, doesn't it? Like all of the shards
Kind of,
blast
yeah.
away, and like even if you go into the zone, it kind of has a similar effect where like the shaping of the way the crystals go, it's like shrapnel.
I didn't notice that. There are no crystals in the center or anything. Yeah, just all around.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, that big sus there. A lot of lore going on there for sure. I don't know what that snake is. I don't know what that little. It's. I mean, that's Sungreet, but I don't know what the snake represents. You see a little worm rest icon. I don't know what that swirly fog is though. So you see like to the left of the worm rest picture, there's like a little like swirly green thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. That's not ancient crypt. It
Maybe.
could be ancient crypt, but like that's a weird
I
symbol
don't know
for
what
it.
it's supposed to. Yeah, I don't know what it's supposed to represent at all.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe
Where
like
the
winding tunnels or something, but no.
nah, that's like magic, isn't it? It almost looks like a
Yeah, I don't know.
storm. But then yeah, you have like obviously Telekir with like the canyoniness of it, the floating castle over there, and what's that place called? It's where we recovered your corpse.
Zintarville.
Yeah, Zintarvale. Zintarvale. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I wanted to show chat what I was looking at. Um, hmm. You can see like the little dead forest area that you were in. But yeah, you see like there's a lot of this continent that's not filled in.
That map makes me happy.
Right? Like we have seen nothing. We have seen nothing. Imagine how like look at how big Shallow Shoals is.
EQ haters mad.
Yeah. This is hold on, let me count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Actually, hold on, let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is 10 zones so far. Not counting dungeons. Wait a second. What the fuck is that island down there?
What the fuck?
Has anybody tried to swim out there? Why haven't we tried to swim out there yet?
You mean like south?
Yeah, the Southwest Island with that cove. That's where
I was
I'm
gonna
going
say,
next
but there's a
test.
bunch of islands too off to the left, but that's
That's
shallow shoals.
Shallow
That's where we
Shoals.
were, and there was a lot of stuff on those islands.
I am
Let's go swim out
going.
there right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh. Yeah, I'm going there next
uh,
test. I'm definitely going there next test. There's got to be something there. Also, look at the northeast of the forest area, Felindral. You see how it starts to turn like dead? Sort of reddish? Wonder if
I wonder
that.
if that's just the map, or it doesn't look like it though.
No, I think that indicates something up there. Something's going on there. Yeah, anybody who says there's too much sand and too much brown is not
So you're
considering that.
literally in one zone.
Yeah, is not considering the fact that you're literally like in like not even a half or even a not even a quarter of the map. That's like what
It's,
like a ninth ish of the map.
it's like starting World of Warcraft near Orgrimmar and being like, I didn't like WoW, it was too brown.
Exactly. It's literally yeah. It's literally like starting in Durotar and being like, game's brown. Like I've been
Or like Elwyn Forest and be like, too many trees, hate the
yeah,
forest.
literally yeah. Started in Darnassus. Whole place is a forest. Cut a lame.
I mean, granted, there is a lot more zones than just like one, but yeah, Juratar's better because even the zones around it are brown. But
True, true. You get brown, tan, off brown. Yeah. I want to know what the fuck the big lake in the middle is, man. If that's not a fucking wizard tower, I'm gonna be pissed. Like if that is not a massive wizard tower in the middle of a lake, I will be upset.
yeah, it sounds like we got to go into Telekir, but I'm not going that deep
This
without
is yeah,
being friends with them.
definitely gotta go in there. Yeah, I guess being friends would be the easiest way to do it, to be honest. We could always go in
Because you
with a
got to go
group,
deep.
but The problem is if we go with a group, you're going to have to kill a whole bunch of Ashira, and it's going to tank your rep. You don't really want to do that.
No, yeah.
So, yeah, I like that you can see the swamp over there. Yeah, it makes me think, like, where are the giants and the ogres from? Are they from a different continent, or are they from this continent?
Not sure.
Also, I'm so ready for the dwarf city. The concept art for the dwarf city and the high elf city is really nice. Yeah, let's go read the ogre lore.
I
Also,
forgot I was doing that earlier.
apparently gnomes and ogres are friends. So, furious and fearless warriors capable of incredible violence. In a heartbeat, their temperaments can swing from stillness of a placid sky to unadulterated fury of a raging tempest. They vary greatly in intelligence and disposition, but none of them fear death, for only the bravest of them will feast in the shattered halls of their elders. Ogres were created by the giants. Oh, so they were created by giants, yeah. Of the Storm
Were they
Coast.
enslaved by the giants or created by them?
Both. To assist in countering the hordes of filth that poured into the Ether during the first invasions of the Spiral Lords. So these guys fought against the Spiral Lords, actually. Very interesting. So these guys are definitely not evil.
You were created for fighting Spiral Lords.
Yeah. Long after those wars, an unnatural cataclysmic event shattered the Storm Coast and killed off their giant elders, leaving the ogres both homeless and without masters. See, masters is what makes me feel like it wasn't an option for them. Like, there was no volunteering. Like, that's a slave. If you don't have the option to do anything else but fight for a person, you're a slave. Over the centuries that followed, the ogres resettled in the frigid north of Aetheriel and built stratified martial civilization ruled by warlords. Today, these massive masters of violence can be found throughout Aetheriel. Their strength and discipline has earned them a reputation as renowned soldiers, loyal mercenaries, and skilled craftsmen. So yeah, they live in the north, in the cold areas. So definitely not a swamp.
I still think it might be debatable on whether or not they were like maybe they were proud to be here. They're like, you know, they're like, hey, we created you to fight this very important thing.
It doesn't matter if you brainwash your slaves. That doesn't change them from being slaves.
Well, they were created. So, like, if we make robots right now and put AI in them and told them, "Hey, you're created to fight this important fight,"
and then enslaved them to fight an enemy, then yeah, totally, that's enslavement. Just because it's
that's why they were made.
That doesn't make them any less of slaves.
So, anytime we create life, we have to instantly set it free. We can't task it with anything.
Yes.
If the world were to be magical, any creation of life cannot be tasked.
Anytime you create a life with free will, yes. 100%. Like, let me put it this way. If God created humans and humans were in permanent servitude to God, are we not its slaves?
What if I'm such a hippie that I think like plants are alive in the same way?
Yeah.
I like grow tomatoes for my own benefit and then pick them all and eat them.
Except plants aren't sentient and they can't tell you things. And
they don't talk, and
they don't have dreams.
Just but like, what if I smoked a big hit of something and the plants did start talking to me?
Yeah, you're enslaving them 1,000%. What do you mean? Like,
that's what I'm saying.
If they have provable sentience, provable sentience, it's slavery. Like, what do you mean?
Shit.
Like I'm just saying, like, forcing a sentient thing to your will is slavery.
Well, what if the cactus asks me to grow it?
It's different, isn't it?
Okay, you're right. Shit.
That's kind of a choice. Like, now, if you had gone through the process of systematically over generations brainwashing all cactuses into religiously serving you, still slaves. Because ultimately, the choice wasn't really made by them; it was made for them. You know.
Okay.
I'm saying.
That's just the way it works. You don't make the rules.
Masters is a specific. I mean, that is what slavery is. No, I don't make the definition of fucking slavery. No, I don't. But I'm just saying, master is a very specific word to use. Because they could have said without leadership. They didn't say leadership. They said masters. That's a very specific word. I'm saying they sound like slaves to me. What does it say about trolls? Trolls arrived in Aether during the first invasions of the Spiral Lord. So yeah, I'm like 100% trolls, or 100% sure trolls and ogres don't like each other then. Because if
What about
trolls,
gnomes and ogres?
gnomes like ogres. Gnomes probably don't like trolls
But
though,
gnomes and troll. Yeah, okay, okay.
because trolls were part of the Spiral Lords. Like they worked for the Spiral Lords. Yeah, after cutting a swath across Ether, they emancipated themselves from their masters and melted away into the swamped crags and caves that served them so well as hunting grounds. So yeah, originally I feel like they were probably fighting ogres then, and gnomes. Millennia of war and catastrophes have tested and tempered them to become ultimate survivors. No race on Ether has the physical resilience, natural adaptability, and cunning of a troll. They're self-serving and distrustful of everyone, including other trolls. They're cruel, calculating, and predatory, motivated only by power, self-interest, and survival. Yeah, trolls sound like the closest to a finger quote evil race so far. They value their independence. They bow only to power surpassing their own, but even then, that is what poison is for. Fair enough. Trolls are supremely crafty hunters, trappers, survivalists. This is not just for a necessity, but also as of an innate sense of purpose. As such, the more ambitious and crafty of their lot have made their way out of the swamps and into the employment of those seeking only the most vicious bounty hunters, assassins, and beguilers. Trolls may be found throughout Aetheril, but they are not always welcomed, and they are always watched closely. Yeah, see, like, it didn't even mention anything about the ogres not being welcome. These guys are just straight up. Huh. What does it say about goblins, then? Greedy, sneaky, nasty, stabby, deceptive, and outright evil. Oh, well, there you go.
There you have it.
There you have it. Outright
That
evil.
settles it.
Oh, never mind. Wait. Semicolon. These are the words the races of Ether describe to goblins. They are only tolerated
Oh,
because of their unique intuition for sensing secrets and maybe their sick sense of humor. Goblins have an aptitude for identifying hidden entrances and being able to tell whether or when another is not being truthful. They
finding
find,
hidden entrances.
yeah, I wonder if they're gonna have a special ability for that racially. They find great utility in leveraging their race's renown for secret finding, espousing themselves as invaluable guides and reluctant adventurers. For a non goblin, it would be nigh impossible to navigate the labyrinthian forest that shrouds the heap that the goblins call home. The ever growing pile of
Ooh.
riches and plunder the goblins have managed to attain from their nefarious activities. What goblins lack in brute strength and size, they compensate for with uncanny perceptiveness, chaotic presence, and mental alacrity. Goblins are supremely adept at seeing opportunities where others would not, connecting the dots that others miss, and capitalizing on them. It is not simply how hard you thrust the knife, it's where the knife ends up. Yeah, right. All right. So I like the way they worded this. Greedy, sneaky, nasty, stabby, deceptive, and outright evil is the way other people,
Yeah.
look at goblins. It's like, is that really what goblins are, though? Or is that just the common ideal of a goblin? I will say a lot of goblins definitely seem that way. Bloody Nose being one of them, right? Let's go look at gnomes. Uh, the deep dwarves are so cool. They're also kind of an interesting, almost like their lore is kind of hinting at a darker side, possible evil. But the way that they were described by the devs is they're pragmatic. Like they're super utilitarian. You know, they're super efficient. Like they don't really give a shit about things one way or another. It's more like how effective can it be, kind of thing. Um,
Okay.
let's see. Not deep gnome. Let's go with gnome. So no race on
Kind of a little more
Aetheril.
cold and calculated.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No race on Aetheril is as inventive or creative as the diminutive gnomes. Their ceaseless pursuit of truth, coupled with extraordinary epiphanies, make them unrivaled in their genius. Behind the chaos of their workspaces and curt, distracted demeanors, they are kind, gentle souls, and perhaps the most benign, as well as brilliant and charming. Yeah. A gnome wrote this. A fucking gnome wrote this of
Mm.
Ether's races. However, you should be warned. Some gnomes have fallen to the lure of dark gods and seek to use their brilliance for vile purposes. Yeah, this was written by a gnome. This has gnome bias all over it. All right, let's see here. Deep gnomes, descendants of the gnomes, the curious race emerged after the Great Cataclysm, transformed by something they experienced while deep underground. Oh, so they didn't just adapt; they're magically mutated. Were gnomes on Ether's
Forcefully
greatest?
magically mutated, yeah.
Like, oh, was it forcefully?
I mean, the deep was created. Remember the two sons, the sister son got mad.
Yeah.
Fear came and was mad, looking over Eth, looking lovingly
Well, yeah.
over
That's
her
how
creation.
the deep was created. But is that
And I'm pretty sure, I mean, the deep being created, quote unquote, is fear caused a giant source of like corruption from underground that created the entire plane of the deep. And I'm pretty sure that's what corrupted everything. Like, she brought upon the source of corruption that is corrupting and corrupted everything in the deep.
okay?
So it
So
doesn't sound like the gnomes like went down there and like made some deal where they were like, "Oh, cool, we can make a deal with these evil people and they'll
that's not
turn
what
us
I'm
into deep
suggesting. I'm
gnomes."
suggesting that they've been exposed to magic passively.
I think it was a quick thing,
I don't think so.
a new kit, and they found themselves deep gnomes.
I don't know. I don't think it would be that sudden.
Or like a slow change, you're saying?
Yeah, I think it's because they emerged after the Great
You're right.
Cataclysm.
It says they're all weird because of stuff they saw. So like maybe it was like over time they like went insane and ended up slowly
Yeah.
changing to look like that.
Unlike others, the surface cousins, deep gnomes don't seek to understand the truths of the universe, but rather those of the multiverse. They're deep divers of dreamscapes, explorers of astral planes, and spelunkers of the spirals. The more they learn, the more pressing their desire becomes to return to the surface. Yeah, yeah, I think it's like the kind of
Spiral
thing
is definitely a multiverse thing.
that they definitely went too deep. You know what I mean? Like they investigated too
Yeah,
hard and got like cursed, I
maybe they
guess.
did.
Yeah.
Someone's like, "Here, hit this," and they did, and their eyes went, "What?"
Yeah.
And they
Yeah,
got stuck like
literally.
that.
Yeah, some dark god somewhere was like, "Hey yo, pass this." Fucking yeah, that or they just looked at the void too long and that shit stared back at them.
Exactly. What's
Interesting.
the difference?
True. So the deep dwarf are enigmatic, dark reflections of their dwarven cousins. They're believed to originate from the same titan's blood. The stories of the deep dwarf's origins, often told to frighten dwarven children before bed, speak of the blood of life flowing into the darkest crevices of the deep below Aetheril. It was there, among corrupted stone, that the first deep dwarfs took form. Yeah, but that's like surface dwarf rumors. However, the deep dwarf's relentless drive to collect spirits and trap them in their creations has led many to think that they are but trapped spirits themselves. Perhaps the Titan's blood encountered something more than corrupted stone in these dark crevasses, where the separation between realities can be so thin. The deep dwarves are a calculating, methodical race. They tirelessly reshape the deep with cold precision and incredible skill. They not only carve and shape the stone, but breathe life into strange creations that assist them in their efforts. These insidious strategists see Ether and its fonts of life as something to exploit and conquer. Their steady, plotting determination is matched only by their stony strength. Yeah, they're giving me evil vibes. Just from the conquering sense, you know? Like wanting to exploit and conquer
Yeah,
the fonts of life is kind of sus. What's what else say?
maybe it's just a fanciful way of saying, everybody wants to live forever, conquer the fonts of life or something.
Well, no, I think
They want to master.
fonts of life is capitalized. It's an actual thing.
Oh,
Like it's a place. I don't know what the fonts of life are, but they are probably a real thing that they're trying to get their hands on. I'm assuming it's a place that has to do with souls, and that's why they want it, because they're like, we can make a bunch of fucking stuff with that.
yeah, it's a little conquery.
Yeah. A little sus. So the wood elves are the most commonly called. Once resembled their high elf cousins, today these keepers of Aether Great Forest no longer appear as the elves they once were, having denied shelter from the great cataclysm. They spared when the fate of the branch interceded. Ah, yep, Fae. Alright. Fortunately, all deals with the Fae
Apparently, they
come
were
at a
supposed to
considerable
look like.
price.
I'm sorry.
Like wood, like dryady. I think they
Yeah,
should have. I think they would have been better if they had looked more like that, but while reclusive and cautious, the wood elves are fair and hospitable. They are bullshit. Sorry, they are highly attuned to the nature and share special relationship with both the flora and fauna of the Great Woods. Hospitable my ass, dude. They shot me on sight. Fuck them. Their
mm,
preservers and ardent keepers maintain watch over the forest they have spent centuries rebuilding. Their druids quickly travel the world via weird gates. Ooh. So maybe they're the ones who made the weird gates then that you use as a druid.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they made them or if they were here and we learned how to use them or.
Oh, I guess they just travel via word gates. That doesn't mean that they made them. Good point.
No, that's a good question. I've never heard anything in regards to how they got there. Never thought
Really?
about that.
So while the Lambert Wanderers, a collection of fable and bards and traders, run the lands of Aetheril, spread the lore and gain the knowledge that will be on it. Okay. At home, the Wood Elves are monitoring the increasing growth of cults dedicated to the Fae of the Branch, who seek to return their people, and potentially even their lands, back to the Fae. Okay. So they got Fae cultists. That's kind of cool.
I haven't decided if I want to role play as like the older dude that's like, no, all these youngins trying to go off and run off to other dimensions. We got to stay here and stick to our roots. Or if I want to be somebody who's like, nah, guys, we got to ditch this multiverse plane here and go with these guys to the Fae of the Branch because they got something going on and we owe them. But this can be interesting.
Be the old one. Fuck the Fae, dude. The Fae cannot be trusted. They're no go, man.
But it sounds like they saved us. So do we kind of owe them?
No, look, there might have been a deal struck, but like that doesn't mean that you owe them ultimately. Whenever you were forced between like an extreme situation and exploitation, right? You never owe the
Sure.
person exploiting you.
I guess it depends what they're asking of us.
Well, apparently, they're trying to take all your asses to the Feywild. Fucking
Oh, for
go
what
be
though? I wonder.
go be permanent puppets in the Fey court. Fucking serve them and dance and never sleep again. You know, things
What
Fey
if they
creatures
say
make
it's
you do.
because there's another calamity coming and we got to dodge it?
Honestly, I'd rather face the calamity head on than be a fucking eternal slave to the Fey.
Hmm.
You know, die in glorious battle or permanently dance for a 2 foot pixie. Halflings are the oldest of Ether's races by far, thriving as a civilization long before the other races had any significant presence of the planet. Like Fey beings, halflings are born from Ether's fonts of life. Aha! See? They mentioned again. They're
Fey
deeply.
beings are born from the fonts of life,
Yep, apparently.
and you think they can't be trusted?
Hey,
Like they're
font of
born
life.
of the planet,
Font
like
of life.
halflings?
Font of life does not mean good guy.
It's not where the smelly ogres came from.
So,
You got crafted in a mud basement alchemy lab, crazy
yeah,
Cthulhu shack.
if anything, that's more neutral.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, we don't know what this font of life stuff is. Okay, I'm just saying. Who knows? Who knows? Let's see here. The fonts of life. Oh
I'll
yeah,
be
here
right
we
back.
go.
Pour a bowl of cereal.
Here you go. Fonts of life are deeply attuned to the sentient planet. Sentient planet. The planet is alive. Okay, good to know. Naturally curious and consummate lore keepers, halflings were the first wanderers and storytellers of the world. The halfling race has lived through and witnesses all the events that have unfolded on Aether over the eons. When the world was safe, they roamed it, observing its marvels and spinning what they learned into wondrous stories and tales. When it wasn't, they often, but not always, hid in their cozy warrens and waited until they could resurface. The world has changed much over the millennia, and so too have the halflings. Today, the majority of halflings are jovial, peace loving farmers and settlers, as opposed to the daring wanderers of old. Unbeknownst to most, including many of their own communities, they have retained much of their lore of ages lost, and there are still a few adventurous halflings looking to add to those tales. Interesting. Yeah, these fonts of life. Wait a minute. I wonder if there's a font of life in Telekir. Is that tree one of the fonts of life? Probably not. That's not epic enough. I don't know. I don't know. Dwarves. The origins of the dwarves are not entirely clear, but many historians trace their arrival to Ether to coincide with that of the dragons. After the burning heavens cataclysm, creation myths suggest that the dwarven people originate from the great mountains of the Galdri Range to the east. These myths state that though they were created from the blood of their ancestor god, a great titan who formed their homeland upon his death, his blood gave life to the stone and shaped the dwarven people in his image. Dwarves are fond of strong drink, fine craftsmanship, astronomy, and exploration. They are quick tempered, fierce fighters whose fortitude resembles the stone from which they are believed to have originated. Dwarves can be found throughout Aetheril as both master craftsmen and insatiable explorers. To befriend one of these stout and loyal folk is to make a friend for life. Yes, yes. Yes, yes, indeed. Yes, yes, indeed. Let's look at the edgelords. While most eradicated as a people during the wars following the collapse of the Caliphate conglomerate, it is believed that the Altrists are now the most prolific elven race. Once vanquished, banished, and hunted, these elves fled deep underground, and it was here that they first heard the Shadow's voice. Having been warned by the Shadow of the impending calamity that burned bright in the heavens, the Altrists decided further into the shelter of the deep. They found a thriving ecosystem and adapted to the darkest depths of Aether's corrupt underbelly. They learned to subjugate even the most demonic of forces as their appearance and collective ethos began to transform. People, they merely learned to coexist with the power they sought to control. Wait, what? Or as their appearance and collective ethos began to transform, perhaps they merely learned. Blah, 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 I see. So they're saying they don't know if they enslaved them or if they're just coexisting. So in the years that followed, the Iltrist claimed the title of Masters of the Deep and proved themselves formidable against the armies of the surface world. They have since reclaimed the ruins of the city from which they were driven by the Cylindrins so long ago. Now, deep below rests the great capital city of the underworld, in which the Iltrist scheme and the Shadow listens. Interesting. The Cylindrine, or High Elves, are tall, beautiful scumbags. Otherworldly beings. Their powerful physiques, innate grasp of magic, and calm, calculated demeanor further feed into this sense of otherworldliness. They embrace this perception, cultivating a sense of superiority. Yeah, so they're the douches fascist elves. Got it. Purity is a common theme among the High Elves. They consider themselves the only uncorrupted remnants of the great Caliphate conglomerate. Yeah, somehow I don't believe you're uncorrupted. An elven empire that once spanned much of Aether's western seaboard. As the last of their kind, the High Elves, who followed strict religious doctrines, are notoriously insular and one of the least welcoming of the civilized races of Aetheril. It doesn't help that their sense of superiority is often reinforced when the quality of their craftsmanship, magic, and military prowess is tested. However, in recent years, a growing faction within their ranks has pushed for greater diplomacy and increased collaboration with potential allies. This infighting has begun to manifest as more than just a rankist debate. As the longest lived of the civilized races, hold on. God damn it. The infighting may take some time to play out, or the High Elves' plans can take centuries to unfold. Yeah, they're sus, man. I don't fucking trust them. Not only did they kick out both of the other elves, which, like, they were just elves back then, homies. Like, let's keep in mind, the wood elves and the dark elves were not dark elves and wood elves yet. They were elves. And then the calamity happened, and these fucking pricks were like, sucks to be you, and locked their fucking doors, forcing the wood elves to make a deal with the Fae, and forcing the fucking dark elves to make a deal with the Shadow.
I heard that's not exactly how it went.
I don't believe you.
One of the devs was telling me. I think it was actually Sean. Maybe it's in the lore channel because I asked about that.
What, that they kicked the fucking other two elves out?
Yeah, I was like, what was their reasons other than like racial superiority or whatever? And he basically said they can't explain it all, but think about like the logistics of it. Like maybe they could only take half of the people or something like that.
No.
And if they could only take half of them, like what would that cause amongst both sides of the people?
Here's my problem with that. Not only did you tuck your head during the calamity, right? Hide completely. But you're just like, yeah, fuck it, 50% of our people can die. We're not going to try to find alternate routes. Those other 50% can just make deals with dark pacts, and we won't make a dark pact with anyone. We would never sully our names to help all of our people. Nay. You, the people outside of our city, the people of the lowest tiers, you guys can go make the dark deals, and we'll sit safe in high and mighty and superior. You can't tell me that that's not what happened. I mean, like, sure, like, I'm sure they had reasons. I'm not saying that they didn't have calculated reasons. I'm saying those reasons, when faced with the idea that apparently the Feywild was capable of saving the Wood Elves and the Shadow was capable of saving the Dark Elves, you tell me that they couldn't find another solution with all of their high and mighty magic? Like, they couldn't find somebody to make a deal with?
No idea. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
To save everybody?
They're really not trying to tell us a lot.
Oh, I know. But I'm just saying, to me, it sounds like the High Elves chose their ideals over their people. That's what it sounds like to me.
Probably.
And that's some bullshit. So fuck them, fascists. Okay. Look, dude, I'm just sorry. Like you read like for example, I go read the Night Elf lore, right? And I'm like, they don't even sound even slightly evil. Like I'm gonna read it again. So, while almost eradicated as a people during the wars that followed the collapse of the Califrey conglomerate, it's believed that the Altrists are now the most prolific elven race. Once vanquished, banished, and hunted, these elves fled deep underground. It was here that they first heard the Shadow's voice. Having been warned by the Shadow of their impending calamity that burned bright in the heavens, the Altrists descended further into the shelter of the deep. So they were actually kicked out before the calamity, it sounds like. They were being hunted and kicked out before all that happened. So they were like exiles and they were like an out group when the cataclysm happened. And the Shadow was like, "Hey guys, you need to be careful. You're about to get blown up." You know. So uh, they were found thriving ecosystem and adapted to the darkest depths of ether, corrupted underbelly. They learned to subjugate even most demonic forces. Um, or as their appearance and collective ethos began to transform, perhaps they merely learned to coexist with the power they sought to control. In the years that followed, the Aelters claimed the title of Masters of the Deep and proved themselves formidable against the armies of the surface. They have since reclaimed the ruins of the city from which they were driven by the Cylindrian so long ago. Yeah, like why were they driven out of a city? You don't just take a city from someone.
Hmm.
That's weird. Like that's conquery to me. That's
We definitely
strange.
need more info here.
Right.
There's some weird stuff.
So now deep below rests the great capital of the city of the underworld, in which the Aelters scheme and the Shadow listens. Like, don't get me wrong, these guys don't sound like good guys. I'm not saying that the Dark Elves are good guys, but like, just because they're dealing with demons doesn't make them bad guys, though. Technically, demons can often be like very misunderstood in a lot of ways as far as like how they fit into a lore system. Like, for example, devils in D&D lore aren't bad guys. They're evil, but they're not finger quote bad guys. Like the entirety of hell exists to maintain the balance of the multiverse and to keep demons from literally destroying existence. Like that's their primary goal. That's what the Blood War is all about. You know, like the devils are the front line versus destruction. So you know what I mean? It's like a lot of these things can be kind of really up in the air when it comes down to lore. So just because they're dealing with something called the Shadow, which I mean, don't get me wrong, that sounds fucking evil as shit. Like it might not be. It might not be. The Shadow might not actually be something so rampantly destructive or, you know, awful. And like for example, the Fae don't seem directly evil. You know what I mean? It's not evil in the sense of like, oh, I want to destroy the planet, right? Or oh, I want to, you know, take everything from you or whatever, right? It seems more like a manipulative, selfish type chaotic pact that they have with the Fae creatures. You know?
Yeah,
Almost
I
like a
feel like the Fae are
yeah.
always kind of supposed to be like that, where they don't seem evil, even like till the last minute, but then I don't
They pull some shit on you, right?
know. Yeah.
They're always very self-serving. They are. But I will say the elves, out of all of the races on Ether, other than the trolls, seem the worst. Like, yeah, they they just seem like bad guys. Like the wood elves not as much, but the high elves don't like this does not paint them in a good light, you know?
Like if anyone's gonna be causing some problems, it might be them. Everybody else
Yeah.
kind of minding their own business, but they might not.
Well, it goes back to that whole belief, right? If you believe yourself to be good, you can never be good, you know? Like if you think all of the actions you're taking are good actions, you're never actually evaluating whether they're good actions. You're just taking the actions because you believe them to be righteous, right? So if they think that basically if they think their shit doesn't stink, they're never going to realize that they're shitting.
Apparently, they do have some magical abilities that no other race has, or whatever. Like there are some physical components that make them, or like real world applicable components that make them think that they're better than other races or have more power, quote unquote. But still, at
Yeah, but
the
I
end of the
mean,
day, it's like you're saying.
here's my okay, but then why did dark elves win in the war against like to take the reclaim their capital?
I
Don't be
have no
wrong.
idea.
I don't think they're actually all that superior. Is my thing. I think they have magic. And don't get me wrong, I don't think that they're a weak race as a civilization by any means. But being strong doesn't make you right. Like this is essentially might makes right exemplified. Into which basically, because of our great superiority in righteousness as a race, like because we are just more powerful than you, we're the defaulto good guys. Like we're right because we can beat the crap out of you. Is what these guys come off as to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like, who cares that you can conjure powerful magics, dude? Like if you're being a dick, we don't we do we not quest after and fight evil wizards all the time? Is that not like a thing that we do? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like, you know, don't be wrong. I'm sure that the high elves have a lot of interesting insight and a lot of interesting knowledge, but the way that they're painted right now is so evil. Like I don't think being religious and being like following strict religious doctrines in any way indicates that they're good guys. You know what I mean? If anything, it can kind of be the opposite in a lot of ways. It just really depends on how they take the religion, you know? Like if their strict religious doctrines are things like generosity and taking care of the planet and I don't know, protecting those who can't protect themselves, then yeah, okay, totally. But if their religious doctrines are do these exact rituals and respect these exact people in the exact way that our ancestors always have and or suffer the wrath of the church, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know.
I think they sound evil.
Yeah, they just sound like, if not evil, they sound very self-serving. They sound very selfish, very
A little
selfish.
snooty. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I do like that the ogres aren't bad guys though. Like
Not yet.
they're
I'm
mean,
just kidding.
they're violent dudes. Don't be wrong, but like, hey man, the ogres will rise again. Fucking yeah, man. Trolls definitely seem hella evil.
I wonder how they made ogres.
I don't know.
Like, what does
Giants
that
have
mean? How
magic.
powerful do you have to be to
Well,
make a new living race that continues on?
giants are supposed to be fucking hardcore, and they have all the different types of giants. So it's not even just like giants used to be this big civilization.
Hmm.
There's giant wizards and everything.
That's still like a lot of magic, Like,
Hmm.
imagine hearing that about any other race or
Well, it's like,
whatever,
how much is it
Like
magic or how much is it alchemy? Like how much is it? You know what I mean?
creating a race of people that they're then go on to like procreate
Well, the goblins are
themselves
made
to
by the
last.
Spire Lords, and the Spire Lords aren't gods.
The Spire Lords sound like multi-dimensional beings, though.
So
So
were
in a
the
sense,
giants.
compared to
So were
us,
the
they could.
giants.
The giants are multi-dimensional beings.
Yes, dude. The
Oh, I
giants.
missed that part.
I think you're underestimating how powerful the giant civilization was pre-cataclysm.
I missed that part.
Like they're a big deal. They're not just big oafy dudes who wander through the desert. Like no, like they're fucking magic dudes. Like they're wizards and powerful. You know what I'm saying? Like the giants are not stupid.
That makes sense from everything we've seen.
I'm excited to see the other types of giants because we've only seen what, fire giants,
Sand giants
sand
and
giants and fire
Centaur.
giants. Yeah, and then the fire giant refugees. Like I want to see like a proper giant city. Like even if it's not a city, like even if it's like the ruins of what used to be a giant city, I want to see what their old shit was about. You know? Because you have to be powerful to create a race. There's no way, like, you know what I
I
mean?
found
There's
some forest giants. I don't remember what they were called in Scarwood.
there is forest giants. Ooh,
I don't remember. They might have been the same giants as the other place, but
but
they lived in these giant
well,
log houses made out of like trees from Phalador.
sick. Yeah, I definitely want to check that out. But that's what I'm saying is like the giants seem to have a certain elemental nature to them. Like they seem far more in touch with like their environments than any of the other races do.
More than the Ashira.
Yes, the Shira aren't adapted to their environments really. Like the Shira don't seem to have some kind of elemental connection to the environment that they're in. They just have a connection to the planet. And to be honest, I don't see the Ashira as any more powerful than like the halflings. The Ashira are just another race of people to me. Like they're just a mystical race. It doesn't really seem like they're powerful, you know?
I don't know.
Like they didn't create the planet, they didn't create anything, they haven't created any civilizations. They're just an ancient civilization.
Maybe they choose not to. Maybe they're one of those,
I
they
don't
believe they should be the oil in the
I
machine to make
don't
sure everything
think
works
I don't
smoothly rather
no,
than try and like
I don't think
interrupt.
they are anywhere close to as strong as dragons are. No, I don't think they're that powerful, dude. Like all of these quests are not indicating that they're powerful. They're just indicating that they're weird.
Sure.
Nobody has said that they're strong wizards. They've just said that they have a connection to the earth. You know, that they're mystical in nature and that they have, druidic backgrounds. Oh, I don't think they used the word druidic. I think it was more like, you know what I'm saying? Like they just feel like a druid race to me. Like that like they're definitely old in the sense and they definitely have like a deep history. Like I definitely think that they have a deep connection to the lore itself, right? Like they matter, but they don't seem world shaping. Yeah.
True. Not yet, at least.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, they might be doing some crazy shit. Like, there's some big hints that the Ashira are cooking up something. Like, something's going on with the Ashira. But I don't know. Yeah, I really hope that the Beastmasters get more stuff going on for them. Like it says, they draw upon the powers of animistic spirits to enhance themselves and gain influence over wildlife. I haven't really seen any of that in game represented,
So
other
you
than
end
the
up getting
pet.
like animal form.
No, we get a rat form for the party. There's like no beast
Hmm.
forms for us. There's also not really any buffs that feel like animistic spirit buffs, you know? Access to shamanistic magics through communion with wild spirits. The most unique and outstanding use of this magic is their ability to take the form of an animal, which we can turn into a rat.
There's probably going to be more than the rat.
I hope so. Because there was talks of just tossing that out, not actually having them be a shapeshifter, which I feel like would be lame. They also use able to tame wild animals and strengthen themselves and their allies through various spells. Like that's kind of represented. That's kind of there. I want the taming though. While the stereotypical Beastmaster is depicted as adventuring alone with their animal companion, they are very capable damage dealers whose magic are welcome in any adventuring party. Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm definitely excited to play Inquisitor. I don't like the racial choices so far. I guess I like Deep Dwarf. Once Deep Dwarf comes out, I'll be down with it. But yeah, High Elf, I just don't have any interest in. Human, Deep Elf, kind of same thing, just not really drawn towards it. Wow, only 3 races can be a monk. I didn't know that. Deep Elf, Human, and Ogre. Dwarves can't be monks?
Shit. Getting tired.
You could.
I'm gonna hop off Discord.
Yeah, man. I'm about to go smoke up and, like coffee.
Yeah.
Dude, Monk
No
has the.
GGs.
Yeah, man. Forget him. Monk has the least race options out of any class. Isn't that kind of strange?
Yeah. Interesting. Wonder why.
Yeah, it's the only one that only has 3 race options. Hmm. I'm looking for a next playtest though. They say they've got a lot of shit coming. So next test is supposed to be a big a big like testing on their new shit. Very excited for that.
Hell yeah, I'll be there like every day basically.
Yeah, I'm really hoping they get some beast